Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cost Share Project Selection Day. I'm Lindsay Douglas, Deputy Secretary for KDOT. This is only our second ever Cost Share announcement, and this time we took our show on the road. I'm excited to be in Newton today with Governor Laura Kelly, Representative Tim Hodge, and Newton Mayor Leroy Kane. And soon we'll hear from Secretary Julie Lorenz, who is in Eudora today with Mayor Tim Reason. Eventually, we'd like to create a statewide cost share event with every region in Kansas represented. However, we figured it was best to start a little smaller with 2 locations. Here's hoping today goes well so we can expand next time. We chose Newton and Eudora not only because they're great communities, but because their projects can begin construction this fall. We know many Kansans are out of work, and we want to do all we can to bring as many job opportunities as soon as we can. Both these projects will do that, and they have a lot of other benefits for their communities. I'll let the mayors tell you about those. For this round, we received 136 projects requesting $228 million in funds. We would have loved to have funded all of those, but it is just not feasible. We're very proud of the 24 projects we selected, not only because they're great projects, but because these projects continued to get better over time. Throughout this process, many communities submitted their applications, we provided feedback, and communities made revisions to improve their submittals. In many cases, that meant gathering more local support or phasing their funding requests. The goal of Cost Share is not only collaborate on costs, but also on ideas. And we certainly did that. And that makes today a truly great day for all of Kansas because we're putting forward the best strategies to tackle transportation problems. This was a team effort, and I'm very honored to introduce our first speaker and the leader of our team, Governor Laura Kelly. Please welcome Governor Kelly.
Thank you very, very much, Lindsay. It's great to be here with all of you, and it's great to be in Newton to celebrate with everyone. I want to thank all of you who have joined us online to celebrate these 24 projects that will make our communities better, generate new jobs, and support our economic recovery. From day one of my administration, I committed to rebuilding our infrastructure and putting an end to using critical transportation dollars to cover the state's unpaid debt. Unfortunately, COVID-19 created new economic challenges for communities across Kansas. Here in Harvey County, the unemployment rate has more than tripled since this time last year. In nearby Sedgwick County, the unemployment rate is 15%, the highest since the Great Depression. Statewide, we're at about 10% unemployment. But in spite of this unprecedented pandemic, we will continue to fight to protect these essential programs because we know they will get Kansans back to work soon and safely. Today's announcement is one of several steps my administration is taking to build a foundation for Kansas to be economically competitive now and into the future. We're investing about $20 million across Kansas, which will improve our transportation system and create jobs. And we're making these investments in every region of the state. About 25% of the projects we're announcing today can begin construction before the end of the year. That includes the Newton and the Eudora projects, which will put people to work now. All remaining projects will begin construction by the fall of 2021. That means a lot of new construction jobs over the next year. This is just the start of our work to rebuild Kansas's infrastructure. We've added about $1.6 billion worth of major highway projects to the development pipeline in May. With our new robust development pipeline, we'll be able to take advantage of federal transportation dollars and continue to create hubs of economic activity to benefit communities all across Kansas. What makes these projects even better during our fight against COVID-19 is that transportation construction can be completed while still adhering to public health guidelines. As COVID-19 case rates increase in Kansas and nationwide, we need to do all we can to restart our economy safely. We need healthy Kansans if we want to have a healthy economy. Transportation investments don't just create short-term construction jobs. They have the ability to change the long-term economic outcomes for communities that have lost populations and businesses. We know that investing in infrastructure benefits existing businesses and encourages new businesses to locate in Kansas. I'll leave it to the mayors to speak about the great projects in Newton and Eudora, but I do want to talk about another project northeast of here in Peabody. For years, the Peabody Burns Junior and Senior High School has dealt with standing water at its front doors and in its parking lots. The problem was created by poor drainage on Sycamore Street where the school is located. There was also a lack of ADA access for the bus drop-off area. For 5 years, the city and the school district both tried to address the problem separately, but they were unable to find the resources necessary to fix it. Thanks to this program, the cost share program, the city, school district, and the state all united, and now the street, curb, gutters, and parking lots will be replaced and fixed to drain properly. The bus drop-off area will now be fully ADA accessible. Our schools should be a welcoming place, accessible to all students, all teachers, all parents, and this project ensures that the Peabody School will be. These projects are a perfect example of how government can make smart, strategic innovations that will make our economy more dynamic and competitive. Congratulations to all of you who are today's recipients, and thank you for the work you're doing to make Kansas even better. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Deputy Secretary Lindsay Douglas.
Thank you, Governor. Now I would like to introduce Secretary Julie Lorenz, who is speaking from Eudora. She has pushed our team to get this program up and running quickly to assist communities in solving transportation challenges. Secretary Lorenz, over to you.
All right, thank you, Lindsay and Governor, for kicking us off in Newton. And thanks everybody who's watching today. I couldn't be happier that we are in 2 locations, and I can't wait till we're in 6 locations for our next announcement. This is truly a day of celebration across the state as we've worked with our partners to identify some really fantastic projects. And Governor, I appreciate your point about needing to deliver jobs sooner and safely. At KDOT, we're doing all we can to accelerate the delivery of projects to provide economic opportunity for Kansans as quickly as we can. The Kansas economic recovery won't wait on red tape, and we're doing all we can to cut through it. My staff has often heard me say that I believe in public sector principles and private sector urgency, and nothing represents that sentiment more than the cost share program. As you may know, and if you don't know, I am happy to tell you that our first ever cost share projects were announced last fall. And that was a result of creating a program, calling for projects, evaluating those projects, and announcing those in 92 working days. That's what I mean by urgency. But to be clear, being expedient doesn't mean that we're going to shortchange collaborating with our partners. Today, we're celebrating the second round of cost share projects. Originally, those applications were due in April, but we extended the application period to allow our partners, the cities and counties, more time to plan as COVID-19 had wreaked havoc across all of Kansas and the country. That ability to be flexible to better serve our partners and to be more collaborative to ensure that we're selecting the best projects possible, that's the example of good public sector values. And that's what we're trying to adhere to under the IKE program. Frankly, that's what Kansans deserve from their government. At its core, government should serve people and be a good representation of citizens. And that means government has to evolve to the times in which it's working. For example, one of the projects we are awarding today is the Greenwood County, and we're replacing the Christian Hills Bridge. It was built in 1930 and has served Kansans for 90 years, so almost a century. And in those 90 years, it saw the rise of mass production. thanks to assembly line manufacturing and an interstate system that actually was brought to us by our home son, Kansas's own President Eisenhower, goods could be produced quickly and transported in large shipments to brick and mortar stores. This emphasis on replication and creating one-size-fits-all solutions, products and services, permeated our entire society. For example, we saw the rise of chain restaurants and big market brands like Nike shoes. So now it's time to pause and think, what do the next 90 years bring to us? What are emerging trends in transportation? And more importantly, what are the changing expectations that our citizens have? Well, the growth of e-commerce requires faster and smaller shipments of goods. More and more people are getting essential products delivered directly to their homes rather than picking them up at a store. And they expect those goods to be delivered quickly. We're becoming increasingly an on-demand society. That's why we have to speed up the delivery of our transportation projects. For example, we're doing 2 rounds of cost share announcements instead of just 1, so that we can better capture emerging opportunities. We announced $39 million in cost share projects last fall, and with today's announcement, we will have invested $60 million in 1 year. And under our new transportation program, IKE, we'll be selecting major highway transportation improvements every 2 years instead of once a decade. So if the 20th century was defined by mass production, this century may be defined by mass customization. More and more Americans want tailored products rather than mass-produced goods. Personal or customized products are now available in at least 17 industries. That means you can get everything from a coffee mug with your name on it, to designing your own sneakers, to designing your own sports car. Technology will soon enable customization to impact other parts of our lives as well. For example, pharmacies will soon have the capability to tailor the ingredients of a pill based specifically on your age and your weight and genetic factors. We're becoming a society that expects tailor-made products and services instead of one size fits all. And that's what's so great about these cost share projects. Not only do state and local partnerships allow you to leverage dollars further, they also ensure that these projects are tailor-made for the needs of specific communities. And they're tailor-made because it's the communities themselves that are putting the applications together and identifying the solutions that best fit their communities. To better serve Kansans today and in the future, KDOT needs to 1, deliver projects faster, 2, collaborate with communities, and 3, offer customized solutions for your transportation problems. Today's announcement allows us to do all 3 of those things, and we look forward to delivering more projects just like this under IKE. Thank you all for tuning in today. And now to tell us more about one of those great projects, let's hear from Eudora Mayor Tim Reason.
Thank you, Secretary. I'd like to first thank our collective communities for entrusting us to be good stewards of their money. Our tax dollars going to communities that need the assistance, and this collective collaboration is amazing for what it can do for our community. I'd like to thank our city commissioners who've worked tirelessly. We've worked for 20 to 30 year plans rather than a 2-year Band-Aid. I'd like to thank our city manager, Brock Matite, our former assistant city manager, Leslie Herring, for working on all these projects and the time and effort that it takes to helpfully push us to that 30-year plan. I know this will help us, this opportunity will help us with both pedestrian and car traffic, vehicle traffic, but it's also going to help us with the growth in our community right along K10, an ever-growing artery, I think, for Douglas County and for Northeast Kansas. So just to help with pedestrian safety is a big thing, but then, you know, to keep people moving throughout the community is another part to this. So I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity and know that you're really appreciated to be here today, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And yes, we we do entrust the state funds and the local funds, and we look forward to keeping track of progress, and we look forward to being back maybe for groundbreaking. Yeah, it'll be great. All right, so thank you, Mayor, and thank you to the city for hosting us today. I'm going to turn it back over to Deputy Secretary Douglas so we can learn about the great work going on in Newton.
Thank you, Secretary Lorenz and Mayor Reason. It's great to hear about how that project is going to benefit the city of Eudora. At KDOT, we're very fortunate that the Kansas legislature passed our transportation program, IKE. We are so much better positioned to serve Kansas during this trying time because of the flexibility and direction that the legislation provides. And with that in mind, I'd like to invite up a legislator who has been very supportive of transportation and supported the IKE program. Please welcome Representative Tim Hodge.
Thank you. It is indeed an honor to be here during such a great time. Who would have guessed just 3 short years ago when then Senator Kelly worked as senator with the House in a major effort to turn around the budget woes Kansas was facing at that time. And here we are today, again, just these 3 short years later, offering projects like this for a community such as Newton, such as Eudora, and just can't thank her and her staff enough for this work because it is difficult, especially when you have powers that be that are really adverse to you at those times. It was such a great memory to come together, both sides of the aisles, and do what's right for Kansans in every town, in every community across the state. And here we are with the fruits of those labors bearing out right now. So again, thank you to Governor Kelly. Thank you to the staff at Newton to work together to make this possible. I want to remind everyone that all of it was a concrete, so to speak, sorry for the pun, a concrete situation where we fixed a tax plan, okay? Fixed a tax structure in 2017. It was not a get-rich-quick scheme. It was not a theory. It was not an experiment. It actually worked. And here we are with projects like this available. So as we are in the local government budgeting season, whether you're at the county or at the city or at the school board, please be advised and take to heart how important it is to listen to your citizens. Just like the state legislators did in 2017 and 18 and 19, where we listen to our citizens and figure out what's best for them. I encourage the local state and the local municipal, county, and school board budget participants to listen to their constituents, hear what they have to say, see where the priorities are in your local town or school or county. Stay away from the get-rich-quick schemes and stay away from any kind of insider influence. Have an open budget hearing and listen to your people. So in closing, thank you to the governor's staff for getting this project going. Thank you to the governor. Thank you for Newton's staff to make this possible. We look forward to many more projects like this going forward. Ad Astra, everybody.
Thank you, Representative. Now we would like to hear from the Mayor of Newton, Mayor Kane.
On behalf of the City of Newton, I would like to thank Governor Kelly and Secretary Douglas for being here today. I would also like to thank our City Manager, Kelly McElroy, and Suzanne Loomis, and all the support staff who got all the data together and was working on this project tirelessly for quite some time. and for this cost sharing program. This is quite an honor that we are selected for this. What this project means to Newton. Funding for the construction of Wheat Ridge Drive and Paddington Avenue is going to help our community in several big ways. It will stimulate an economic development project adjacent to the project that will bring much desired commercial development and new jobs to the Newton community. It will improve safety along South Kansas Avenue that has a higher crash rate than the national average of similar roadways. It will improve the secondary access point to the Newton Medical Center campus, ER, and our fabulous YMCA. Newton is extremely excited to partner with the state of Kansas on this roadway improvement. And thank you very much for seeing the potential of this important project in Newton, Kansas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Kane. We would be remiss if we did not acknowledge one of the essential members of our team that made today possible, Senator Carolyn McGann. Her work as co-chair of the Joint Legislative Transportation Task Force really was the springboard both for the creation of IKE and the cost share programs. Without her, today would not have been possible. Unfortunately, Senator McGann could not join in person due to a previous commitment, but she has sent a message for us, which we will play now.
Good morning. I'm sorry I was unable to be with you today. I want to congratulate the City of Newton for being selected for the Wheat Ridge paving extension. This is a great win for South Central Kansas. This project has been strongly supported by local businesses and the Newton Medical Center. The value of the cost share program is not only that the state and communities can work together to stretch their dollars, but also to craft solutions that best serve our community. When everyone has skin in the game, it creates a better product. I am also pleased that we can leverage this program to put Kansans back to work. We always want our transportation investments to deliver economic opportunities. Now more than ever, we need to maximize our resources to create as many jobs as possible. As co-chair of the Joint Transportation Legislative Task Force, we crafted the foundation of the Eisenhower Legacy Transportation Program, or IKE as it's known. And I am proud that we passed that program this year despite having a shortened legislative session. The IKE program provides the flexibility we need to confront the economic challenges created by COVID-19 and seize long-term opportunities to provide a greater, stronger future going forward. Through the IKE program, we can create more great days for Kansas like we've had in the past. I know these are difficult times for our state, but this pandemic will not last forever. Wishing you good health and the best to our state. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today. I want to particularly thank communities for their partnership in this program. They sharpened their pencils and helped us to stretch the state dollars further to maximize that state investment. To sum up, we've selected 24 projects totaling $20 million for this round. It was nearly a 50-50 funding split between the state and the recipients. And if you combine that with our first round selections, we've invested $60 million in Kansas for 2020. For the complete list of projects selected, please visit the KDOT homepage and follow the cost share program link.